Hello there. Welcome to Ignite Global's ICF Competencies podcast. Today, I have a faculty member from Ignite Global. My name is Ugochi Osai, by the way. I am a group and teams coach and organizational development specialist, PCC. And today, Anne is also a faculty member, organizational development specialist, and she is part of the Ignite faculty. Today, this podcast is especially relevant for those who will be preparing or who are in the process of preparing for their ACTC certification. It's also something that most coaches would benefit from. Over the next couple of weeks, we're going to be looking at the ICF core competencies as they pertain to systemic coaching. Today, we're looking at competency 5, which requires the coach to maintain presence, right? And for one-on-one, it basically says the coach should be fully conscious and present with the client, employing a style that is open, flexible, grounded, and confident. However, and that's where we're going today, when it comes to team coaching, ICF kind of extends this competency to include team-specific behaviors, right? And the coach has more is demanded of the coach, where the coach now has to, ask themselves the question, what is happening in this team right now that the team itself may not even yet be noticing? So, Anne, you're here now. So tell us, what does maintaining presence mean when we're in a team coaching intervention or in a systemic space?
Okay, hi Gochi. Thanks for the introduction there. Yeah, maintaining presence is about being attuned. It's about being attentive to what's happening in the group or the team, non-reactive, and it's particularly about noticing patterns, noticing energy shift, noticing dominating voices, defensiveness, reactions. If there are people eye rolling when one person speaks, it's noticing all of those things and that's being present.
And when the coach notices this, then what? The team coach.
When the team coach notices any of those things, then there's the option to either intervene, redirect, or maintain silence. But if that, sorry, particularly, redirect or intervene.
So basically draw the attention of the team to what he or she is noticing, right?
Yes.
So in what ways would you say that this competency, right, differs between the individual coaching and when you are in a team coaching space?
Okay, team versus one-to-one. One-to-one coaching is you have one person in front of you, you can observe their body language, their words, their tone of voice. It's straightforward. In a team coaching scenario, there are multi-directional relationships. There are various power structures within an organization and within teams. There are possibly subgroups, dominant voices. There's dynamics in the team that the team might not even have made explicit themselves. So the coach needs to be aware and present to notice and keep those things in mind.
Okay, thank you. One of the things that we sometimes come across is when people say, maintaining presence, that's like a soft skill. No big deal. Do you agree with this?
No, I don't. I do believe, it is true that sometimes when people hear the term soft skill, they kind of think that it's intuition, it's emotion, it's a nice to have, it's not technical. There is an overlap for sure. But in fact, for the ICF, uh, presence is a core observable skill that can be developed and is assessed. So
Mhm.
it's essential for awareness, for regulation, and just central to ensuring the psychological safety of the group.
Yeah. And not just maybe not just psychological safety, but also to make sure that the whatever the team comes up with, that this is sustainable, that when they remove you, the team coach, they can run right on their own.
Absolutely.
So yeah, yeah. So it is not a soft skill. It is
No.
not. It's not about EI. It's more about um your capability, competence, right?
Yes.
Next question would be, how does strong presence, I'm talking now the coach's strong presence, how does it
Mm.
directly impact the team performance or its decision making?
Okay, well, a strong presence ensures that the conversation doesn't stay at a superficial level.
Hmm.
It also ensures that the coach notices if the energy drops and is able to zone in on that and
Hmm.
see what's happening here. It also means that dominant voices can be softened
Hmm.
because that becomes very clear in the team coaching sessions.
Hmm.
Then there's room for meaningful reflection and for deep thinking. Um, what else? Yeah, the coach would be aware of throwaway comments, or maybe where there are conspiracies, or not conspiracies, but where there are people who kind of tend to click more together.
Hmm.
All
Are
of
there
that.
cliques and people like,
Yes,
yeah.
yes,
Hmm.
yeah. So
Yeah.
when the coach is aware of all that, it can be made explicit. It can be worked through, and that lends itself to a very honest and open coaching conversation.
Hmm. And I think probably one of the strongest points for strong presence is that the team gradually learns to just trust each other, trust themselves too, be more willing to
Hmm.
offer ideas, and at the end of the day, buy into whatever was co-created by all of them. You can say, yes, I was a part of this decision, and you're probably more likely to be more committed and to see that decision becomes live, is
Yes,
implemented to the best of your ability.
yeah. You feel that your voice has been heard and that
Mm,
you've been part of that decision-making
mhm,
process.
mhm. So how does a coach decide when to be when to interrupt the team coaching process, when to stay silent, or when to redirect? Because the team coach has these privileges to interrupt, to stay silent, or to redirect. How can you tell when, as a coach, you should do these, take these steps?
Okay. Yeah. Well, you mentioned intervene or interrupt first, so I'll start with that. The coach would interrupt, for example, if there are too many voices speaking at once. Also, if there are energy shifts, they might interrupt to see what has just happened here. If the discussion veers off into storytelling, that would be an occasion that he would want to interrupt. Um, if the discussion is escalating and tensions are arising, or if there's a breakdown in the conversation,
Mhm.
there again the coach would interrupt.
Yeah.
Or if he or she notices that there's avoidance of certain topics, they might interrupt then and see what's happening there.
Mhm.
In terms of redirecting, well, the big example here is if it's again if it's going off into a different topic, or going off the agenda completely and not staying focused on what they have agreed that they were going to focus on
Yeah.
during the session.
Mm-hmm.
Also, if they notice that a thread has emerged that hasn't been explored or named, there again would be very important
Mm-hmm.
to redirect and make sure that every theme is teased out.
Yes.
And
Mm-hmm.
then finally, in silence, um, well, the coach would remain silent if there's deep thinking going on, if they are reflecting
Mm-hmm.
and are trying to figure out a solution.
Mm-hmm.
But also stay silent if there's productive conflict. Then there's no need for the coach
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
interrupt or redirect.
Yeah.
And if they're accessing something important or
Mm-hmm.
something meaningful,
Mm-hmm.
then again, there's no need to interrupt because, like you mentioned earlier, the role of the coach is to ensure that the team can continue with a productive conflict and with productive dialogue once the coach has left.
Yes. Yes. Thank you, Anne. I think that will then take us to my next question, which is what behaviors in the team would kind of tell you that that there's a lack of presence. That the presence of the coach is not being felt.
Okay, so what you're asking me is like if the coach isn't maintaining presence, how do we notice that in the team in the discussion? Well, I suppose first of all, the conversation could stay very superficial.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the coach might just tune into the last part of the conversation and therefore miss out on maybe meaningful stuff that has been
Mm-hmm.
said before. And the team then don't get any depth. The dominant voices can take over.
Mm-hmm.
There mightn't be any meaningful reflection. It
Yeah.
becomes a conversation like they could have in the office,
Mm-hmm.
and that's not what the coaching is about. It's
Mm-hmm.
about this discussion working to achieve a goal or a purpose. And if that doesn't happen, then it suggests that that the coach may not have been fully present.
Yeah. Yes. So what then would um let's take the biases.
Sure.
We would like to believe as coaches that we don't have any biases. We are non-judgmental, right? But the truth is that we all have our biases. We all have our preferences. We all have specific ways we would rather things go, right? So recognizing this as a team coach, what should we do to ensure that our preferences or our biases are not impacting our presence?
Okay. Well, like you say, we do all have our biases and our preferences. We all come from different cultures, different backgrounds. We have different expectations and we have different interpretations of
Mhm.
behavior.
Mhm.
And not only does the coach have, but every individual in that team has.
Team. Mhm.
So it's really that the coach is very aware of his or her own preferences. And that and a way of managing that is by ensuring that they don't jump very quickly to an outcome, because
Mhm.
that could suggest they have a preference for that outcome.
Mhm.
They shouldn't also jump to certainty too soon.
Yeah.
That would be another, or kind of be seen to side with one person over another.
Mhm.
Uh, what can be very helpful here is the role of the co-coach. Often in larger teams, a coach will have an agreement with a co-coach to work with him or her.
Mhm.
And in that agreement, they can decide that the co-coach will be part of the conversation at times.
Mhm.
And there, the co-coach can mention and name any threads that he or she has observed
Mhm.
and make them explicit.
Mhm.
Also, in the debrief afterwards, the co-coach can share observations with the coach so that there's a constant, I suppose, consciousness
Mhm.
of making sure that our biases aren't felt.
Mhm. Yeah. Before we round up for today, because we're kind of running out of time, it's often said that this particular competency, the competency 5, is one of the most important competencies in team coaching, in the sense that if there is no presence, if there is no strong presence, then you're not even embarking on team coaching. You will not have the results. The team will not be able to express or dig into themselves as much as they would. You would end up with superficial results, which probably would not be sustainable for the team after you've left the scene. What would be your last points on this coaching competency?
Maintaining presence is essential for quality coaching.
Mm,
It encourages and empowers people to be more honest
mhm,
because the coach has made explicit different dynamics, dominant voices, and
mhm,
therefore people are made to feel psychologically safe.
mhm,
It also means that they can have a more productive conflict and be able to carry those, what would we say, um, conflict resolution
mhm,
techniques
mhm,
outside of the coaching session. But that's only possible if the coach can be fully present
mhm,
and ensure that everybody feels safe to express their opinions and their thoughts and be heard.
mhm. And for them to be also comfortable with being challenged, right? As a
Yeah.
team, as a group, as different individuals all working together, just let the coach be able to challenge them and they accept that and look over what they have said and do whatever is required for them to get to where they want to get to. Thank you
Yes.
so much, Anne. I'm
Thank
sure
you.
you'll be coming back again for other competencies, but this is where we round up for today. And we invite you, you're preparing for ACTC, you want to know more about this, um, what Ignite Global can offer you. There's a link below this recording. Please click on it. Feel free to ask whatever questions, and we will be glad to take on those questions and to help you along in this journey. So from Anne Rousseau, go to your site, Ignite Global. We want to say, see you soon.
Bye bye. Thank
Bye
you.
bye. Bye bye.